Hey everybody, how you guys doing? I lit myself a nice little candle. We're gonna do some Oracle cards tonight, but I'm really gonna focus on the heart center, the heart chakra tonight. I'm gonna light a little bit of this right here. This is copal. Yeah, so I got the Santa Claus hat on for natural joy, peace, bliss, and eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, and ultimate vitality. And I'm really trying to come warm through my heart right now, because as it gets a little bit more chilly, I start to crave and desire a partner. And then just in general, if I'm not even if I crave and desire like warm connection, community, closeness, and community. And I just feel like our ancestors lived in a completely different world. Like every single night there would be a warm campfire, and everybody would be cuddling up around the campfire, telling stories, singing and dancing. This was really, really normal back then. This was how it was. And some people are still connected to their families, and a lot of people are separated. Your kids move out, everybody's gone everywhere. But people used to every day, every night, feast around a huge table, the whole community, the whole village. And we've lost that sense of community. We've lost that. And yeah, so been really, really rough and tough lately. Been getting back into the workouts. My body's been feeling that pain. Really been pushing myself. And recently I've just been talking and meditating and realizing that I just got to take it easy. Hey, what's up, Mick? Dominic, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Joshua Lopez. So I'm on about the importance of building community and unity, what we've lost through our bloodlines. We are all billions of years old. And yeah, so I'm bringing back the ancestral wisdom and the thoughts of remembering how we could create things if we so chose to co-create them. Peace. I'm a good Santa. I'm a real good Santa. I always do it real good. I'm not going to be reading much of the comments, guys, because it's just about these cards. But it depends on what your channel's about. Yeah. All right, let's go. The first one is dream. So we are dreaming. We are manifesting our dreams and visions of a better world for ourselves and our own intentional families, communities, and friendships that we hold. We bring our dreams to the forefront. We devote our mind and our hearts towards unconditional love for ourselves and others, and understanding the power and unity of community that all of our DNA had, because we are sperm, egg, sperm and egg, sperm and egg. We are billions of years old in our soul. And it's only been within like the last 1,000 years or less that we have not been in that spiritual bond with micro communities. Gift. It is a huge gift to understand the power of the ancients. And we are the ancients. We are here from the ancients. Our DNA and our being is ancient. Leadership. It's important we lead ourselves versus following the crowd. It's always good to follow many different crowds. Just so we can get an idea of the different perspectives here on Earth. But at the end of the day, we have to be our own leader. Guidance. By exploring our world and exploring the cultures in our world and the different backgrounds of different people, and expanding our perceptions. We can be guided by the universe. Hey, thanks, David. I really appreciate that. Hey, Bubblegum, we are doing some readings from the Awakened Soul Oracle deck. Oh my gosh. I just had my incense fall into my tea. I guess I'll drink it. It's just a little bit of ash. Anyway. Yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. Super excited. A little bit tired, y'all, but I made someone a moderator last night. I told her that I'd be on around this time. And so we want to try to create a consistency on the channel. So I'm going to be streaming. I need one more moderator, if anybody can volunteer. So can you shout out my cousin's 30th birthday? His name is Hugh Gizzoli. Sure, I could do that. Congratulations. Congratulations to your cousin's birthday. Big blessings from the heart. May his day be the best day ever on this that he's ever experienced. May his day and the rest of his year be filled with natural joy, peace, bliss, eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, and ultimate vitality. All right, Jay, I'm going to keep that in mind. Would it work for you to be a mod? I'll just make you a mod really quick. Let's do it. If you're not on all the time, don't get offended if I make someone else a mod. Hugh Gizzoli. He's a huge... There you go. I made you a mod, buddy. for now. All right. Was that supposed to be a joke? Okay. Family. We are one family under the same sun. If we look at that everybody's soul as a potential family member, we never know what we'll learn from them. Super, super awesome. Release. Every day when I go to bed, if I've had a rough day, or throughout the day, if there's some negativity that comes into my life, I release it. Today I had kind of a frustrating day, and I just had to do a quick breath meditation, do some Tai Chi and some Qigong, and imagine and envision as soon as I was feeling that it was released. And then I opened up my arms, opened up my chest. I looked into the sun. Oh, let's get smoked out over here. And I just felt so much better. Gratitude. There is so much gratitude in our hearts, minds, and spirits and bodies, which are one. It's all connected in physical matter, and everything matters because everything is matter. And we have so much gratitude for everything in life. So filled with love and gratitude right now. Perseverance. We've been persevering lately. Some days we haven't been feeling like working out, but it doesn't matter. Some days we haven't been feeling, me personally, like getting on here and doing the lives and growing this channel. But every single day I make it a thing, and we got to persevere, hold each other accountable through our perseverance, and lift each other up. Super, super essential. That way we can all grow. Rescue. We all want that one person or one community to come and rescue us, but at the end of the day, no one can rescue us better than ourselves. The best way to do that is to do daily meditation, understand what our needs are, to do monthly journaling, to see where we are at meeting our own needs personally. And we have to be our own. We have to be the captains of our own ship. Adventure! Freaking epic right now. Check this out. I love this. So I have been really, really, really needing adventure. I've been feeling numb with my work, even though I just started it last month. I have been craving adventure and hiking and exploring out into the wilderness and swimming in under the waterfalls and being at one with the nature. And I think this is so important, and we've gotten so far away from this in our current DNA and our current ancestry of who we are. Our ancestors were so connected to nature and nurture, because nature is nurture. And I think it's super important we have more adventures. Oh, heck yeah. Camping. I just want to camp all the time. Like, it's very, very, very important for me to find it within myself or with somebody else. First, I have to figure it out within myself. I have to figure out how I can set up my life to only work 6 months and then camp the rest of the 6 months by myself. So that way that I know that if I have a partner in the future, that then I could just figure out a way with her that we could do the same thing. We could work minimally. Ultimately, the goal is finding a way to camp all the time and then like make deals and sponsorships with companies and sell products through drop shipping. 24-hour camping is the new vibe on planet Earth. Who doesn't need the peaceful nature to regenerate and anti-age the mind, body, spirit, and soul? To procreate natural joy, peace, bliss, eternal ecstasy, and unconditional love for ultimate vitality. Me, I know I do. Oh, thank you, grandparents, Ta. I really appreciate that. I think I know who you are too. Compassion. Oh my gosh, look, we got this cute little orangutan. This little girl is holding its hand. All those trees in the backgrounds are getting cut down. It's an awesome representation of compassion. You know, as humanity, collectively, we're not being compassionate to our future DNA strand, our current reincarnated offspring. I always tell people reincarnation is reincarnate. Carnate is carnate. Carnate is flesh. So we are the reincarnations of all the ancestors before us and all the energies on earth and all the interactions that we had in our communities, those energies that influenced our emotions, our spirit, which affected our mental, physical, and spiritual health. So if we can learn to have a little bit more compassion for each other, we can come together through community again and have more time. We don't have enough time these days because we don't know how to work together the way that we should be. I mean, it should be very simple for a family to mastermind a business plan and then create $10 million when you have 6 to 10 people working efficiently at that business model. Many businesses with less than 10 employees make $10 million a year. So when you have that family model and then you were to split $1 million to each family member, everybody's making $1 million. And to be honest, if we're making that much, let's just cut back to just making $100K each. Let's just make the goal to make $1 million as a family amongst 10 people as a tribe. And then we're all making 100 grand. If we could figure out a way to make 10 million, then we'd only have to work a tenth as much. And so I think that's the issue. We're at a dilemma. See, I've been at a dilemma in all my past relationships with all my past lovers. They were ready and demanding to have children, and I looked at the situation and I assessed the situation. I'm like, this doesn't seem healthy at all. I can never send my children to public school. It's important that we give our children a future so that when they're 18, they know and understand their passions, what their passions are, and they don't go into a huge amount of debt. And in all of these different discussions, right? Like, parents these days aren't parents. The government is the parents. If your children are at school for 8 hours for 12 years and you're working all the time, you've barely been a parent at all. Not smoking anything, but this is a copal. Hey, good to see you, nature boy. I'm gonna make you a mod. Oh, Jay, I'm probably gonna be making nature boy a mod. I got 2 mods now. Nature boy, but yeah, fun. I hope your day's been filled with natural joy, peace, bliss, eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, and ultimate vitality, nature boy. A big bother, and a big reason that I've been single and unhappy the last 3 years is because ideally in this world, in the way of thinking, I was debating on I either have to formulate a plan to become a millionaire, or I have to formulate a plan to survive completely off the grid without money, so that if I did choose to have children, I could be with the children and I could be with the mother, and we could actually raise the children in a way that's ancestral. And it's just too hard to guide your children in a public school. And to me, that's been nerve-wracking. So the last year of my life, it's been really depressing. I wasn't having a lot of fun. I was watching a lot of podcasts. I was in a state of dismay. And I had to pull out of that by learning to have fun again. And I had to pull myself out of that negativity and that darkness. And so one thing that I challenge everybody to do at least 10 minutes a day is to try to rechild, rewild, and revitalize, and remember and tap into that natural creative part of yourself that you were as a child before you were forced to sit in a chair for 8 hours for 12 years. And you were told to be quiet and learn this, all this analytical part of your brain. It's really important that we learn to tap in and channel that other part of ourselves, that natural flow state that we had when we were children. And so it's really important to me that before I have children, that I find a partner where we're able to create time freedom, and we're able to have flow state, and we don't feel like all this financial stress or this time stress. Oh yeah, absolutely, nature boy. And these cards are for everybody, by the way. This is a collective reading. So every card pulled is for every human being on earth. It is a collective reading. But yeah, I totally got you, bro. Rebirth. How about this one, nature boy? It was going to be forgiveness, but how about rebirth? I'll put the intention towards you. So there's a night sky, there's some smoke, I don't want to get like gender specific, but there's a person out there walking with like a poncho and a blanket, like out in the darkness. There's a bat, right? So the rebirth through the darkness, like the only time that we can rebirth is when we've felt darkness in our life, when we've had darkness in our lives. That's the only way that we can analyze and understand the world, is when we go through that darkness. That's how we become aware of the things that aren't right. But that darkness that we become aware of is what gives us the light to see the rebirthing of a new vision. And that's the new one, which is the vision. And third eye activation. That was the title of the second episode of Batman Beyond I watched tonight. Rebirth. Oh, that's what's up, dude. That's what's up. I had a lot of people tell me that I was I reminded them of Batman. I'm like, no way. I'm broke AF for now. But dude, that first original Batman movie was amazing. I'm like the Flash. Thanks, dude. Thank you. So the vision, we have to daily. It's really important that we get intentional, and everything that we do is a ritual, whether we understand it or not. We have unconscious patterns and we have conscious patterns. And so we need to get really intentional with our vision and our rituals. And we need to set intentions, especially in the morning when we wake up and before we go to bed, on what our intentions are. And a great way to create a vision is to actually, everybody should go and print out colored pictures, put it on a huge poster, and create their vision board of like what their personal relationship should look like with their self, what it should look like with like their family, with their lovers, what does their future look like, what are you, like pictures of what you're doing, where you're at, like what you guys are eating, because that will help to stimulate the consciousness. Because when we spell something, when we write, we're casting that spell into existence. But when we also think, thinking is connected to spelling, because spells are words and thoughts. So when we create a vision board in a manifesto, we are intentionally calling this into the universe in our conscious, and then we are planting that into our subconscious mind. And 80% of who we are, maybe more, I gotta put this smoke out. I'm smoking myself out over here. Jeez, is subconscious. Like we 80% of who we are runs on autopilot. Hey. All right, how long have we been on here? 26 minutes. I'm considering on just going all the way through and doing this whole deck for this collective reading. But I might just do half. And feel free, everybody, to share this with your friends. If you could copy this link and share this with some people that you believe this would help them. If you think this would inspire anybody in your life that you've been trying to mend a relationship with or build trust with, please share this live with them. And hopefully this collective reading can reach further and further. I think there's only 2 people on here tonight. Forgiveness. Oh my goodness. I've been working so hard the last 3 years to forgive myself. I had to learn how to forgive myself for being so dismal and for getting so dismal and down on how I viewed and perceived the world. And it took me forgiving myself and forgiving others in the world and just accepting where I'm at and where everybody else is at. It took that level of forgiveness to really start feeling and seeing the things in life, like the things that bring me joy, bliss, and eternal ecstasy, these things. And got really dark there for a while. I was looking at a bird's eye view of my future. I started really truly thinking about the potentiality of having children in the future, being a father, what that would be like, really deeply meditating and embodying what that would be like. And I was really doing some inner childhood traumatic healing through myself, really getting rid of and going back and seeing and nurturing my inner child and understanding myself on a deeper level of like why I am the way I am and why some things hold me back. And they're really just things that were planted into my subconscious mind. And I had a lot of anger come up towards those situations and people, and a lot of disgust and unforgiveness. It's been really hard to forgive. But then I had to, the way that I did that was through compassion. Even though I had a lot of people hurt me when I was a kid, and I went through all those places and those government institutions, and I had all those beatings and stuff. a lot of anger comes up. At first, it's like a lot of hurt and a lot of sadness, but then it's anger, and you just have to learn to forgive it, because I I feel that way with the system. In a lot of ways, I feel that way with the system, and if I we don't create a new future and a better world for ourselves and our communities and our children by complaining about the system. We just create a better world by accepting what we can change and actively envisioning and brainstorming and co-creating a world that we want to see. And that's my change in focus. And that has brought me a lot of relief. And sometimes I get pulled back, but I have to consciously direct myself if I want to see, at least in my own little eyes of like my own fractal perception of the universe, like what I want and how I want to see my life and the life of my offspring. Sovereignty. I'm not sure what to say on this one about being sovereign. I don't feel like a lot of us know what being sovereign is. I don't think we were really taught about this. I need to understand more about being sovereign myself. So I'll have to do some more research on what it is to be truly sovereign and free. Mantra. Hey, what's up? What's up, Bromo? How you doing? Shout out to Nature Boy. So when I'm doing these readings, Nature Boy is talking for me. He's a really cool guy, and he's here for the growth and expansion. So if I don't see your message right away, always say hello to Nature Boy if he's in the comments. Super cool guy. NB, what do you mean by NB? Let me know in the description. Nature Boy. That is important. That is important. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been able to have that for a long time. I became so depressed with the idea and the concept of being in a relationship with a woman, because all my relationships in the past, I just fell in love so fast. It's when you get around a woman, it's hard not to fall in lust when you have gone monk mode for 3 years. And but honestly, I used to get erections all the time around women, and which is it's not fun for a guy to be able to do that. And I talk about this all the time, how women are so lucky that they can literally walk around planet Earth all the time being aroused, and in a state of arousal, and how good that is for creating stem cells in your body, and serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and all the proper hormones and love hormones that allow your body to actually be in an anti-aging state, to increase your telomere length and decrease the level of aging. I had this epiphany 6 months ago, and you guys will constantly hear me ranting about it. And so this is where I go over there and I pick from there the photo of the anime character who's meditating under a waterfall with his erection, because I'm a naturalist and I'm very ancestral, and the ancestors had that full sovereign freedom to be out in nature and be like men could be aroused. Like when I was a kid, like arousal is not sexual in the sexual organs. When we were children, as men, we were getting aroused at the slightest gust of wind. And and then being circumcised. I was circumcised. It's truly traumatic shit. But And I tell everybody the reason why I just wanted to go out in nature, because I mean, there are naturalist resorts, there are naturalist communities and stuff like that. But look at that. That should really unlock your DNA. That should unlock your DNA. I put this on my pre-workout because I'm coming up with an invention. And this invention is going to allow me to, I'm just going to tell you guys, if someone wants to steal it, that's fine. I've already had 2 people steal my other invention ideas. I just need someone to bring this to the market. I'm getting a little off task here, but over the last 3 years, I lost my sexual stamina, and so I've been starting to do sexual stamina exercises, sexual kung fu. And so here's the concept for men. So it'll be a medicine ball, but it'll be 25 inches in circumference. It will have a yin and a yang. It will have 2 fleshlights that you will be able to penetrate, and you will be able to fill it with sand as you get stronger. And this is age restricted for everybody, so don't freak out, everybody. But as a man, it is important to be able to do this. It's important to feel masculine. And as men, testosterone is 70% lower than it's been for like the ancestors. Like the way that we live and our lifestyles, we have super low testosterone. And so hold it'll be I'm not sure if I'll make it black and white, or I'm not sure, but because so many people do anal, that one of them will be an anal fleshlight, 12 inches in diameter, so it'll fit almost everybody. And then the vaginal one will be also 12 inches. And then that way you can stand in that position, you can lay back, and you can fill it up like a sandbag, and you can move it up and down on your body, or you can pick it up and you can practice, and it's important as men to know that you can satisfy. And I got really lucky with my last relationship. She loved riding on top, and she didn't really have an issue with it, but when I got with her, I was nowhere near my sexual stamina and capacity. And when I was younger, it's like when you've achieved a level of a full body orgasm as a person, and you felt those chemicals flush over your body, like I did with my first partner, and then you have a lack of that, I started to realize that all comes from that my body is not strong. My cardiovascular system was weak. I was really just laying there and kind of just helping her a little bit, but I wasn't really I didn't have the stamina, I didn't have the vigor that I had when I was 18. And when I had that stamina and that vigor with my first partner, she was just crazy, and she always kept my appetite sexually going. And with my woman, we feed off of each other, right? We feed off of each other. And so I realized that the sex with, if I would have been like that with my last partner, we would probably still be together. It's not that I wasn't able to perform, but this woman that I was with, she wanted sex 6 times a day. And she was fine with riding on top all the time. But for me, I just wasn't about it. It's not why we broke up, but anyway, let's get back to the cards. But that's the invention, and I think it's I think it's a really good idea. The goal is to be able to have it fill up to 300 pounds. You said nobody does picnics. I know picnics. And I want picnics out in the woods, naked. That is one thing that I had with my ex. We always went hiking and we always had picnics and we always got naked. We always had really, really, really good sex. They are important. Dude, thanks a lot, dude. So I'm thinking like a 25-inch diameter medicine ball, and then but with removable sleeves. I've thought it all the way through too. For like, it's like the divorce rate is higher than ever, and it's also a true thing for men that are circumcised. Circumcised men have a higher chance of erectile dysfunction when they're older, because when you are uncircumcised, there's always that penal wrap around it. Also, when you get circumcised, if you guys didn't know, it takes up away to 50% of your orgasm capability. That's pretty fucked up. And so by doing that to men, you're actually setting them up for failure for any relationship that they get with. Because if you're taking away up to 50% of a man's potential for orgasm, that means that the sex that he would have normally had with like his wife, and he's going to have a 50% reduction in love and bonding chemicals. So if you guys are wondering why I'm so pissed, I've done my research. Check out the Bloodstained Men. It's pretty fucked up shit. And they actually do the same thing to women in other countries. It's all about control. But they do that to women in certain countries. It's super fucked up. Mantra. But anyway, let's get back on task. It's pretty intense, deep stuff there, y'all. Okay, mantra. Everything that we say in our head is a mantra. Yes. So we accept the things we cannot change, and we have the will and the desire and the perseverance to unify together in a beautiful mantra. That's what came to mind. Mirror. We need to take some more time and look ourselves in the mirror and analyze our soul and mirror our past, mirror our future, understand who we are, why we have become who we've become, figure out if we've lost certain parts of our soul essence that we want to get back, or we feel like we've lost our innocence, or we've lost a part of our inner child. We have to look back and we have to mirror inwards, and we can also do that by mirroring outwards and having conversations and relationships, because we're all mirrors of each other's soul. Truth. We must always tell the truth, even when we are fearful that it may offend other people. But we must try to be honest with ourselves and others. It's hard to be honest sometimes, you know. We can trigger people. They can take us the wrong way. Everybody has a different perception of God and reality. Everybody's lived very different lives. And so we just got to try to understand each other and be compassionate and listen. And this was the issue that I had in my last relationship towards the end. I was too honest. If I wouldn't have been too honest, I would have still been in a beautiful relationship. So I'm not sure that was necessarily a bad thing, but learning how to be honest with others and how to deliver honesty and how to warm people up to hard topics, I think is really important. So I think it's always important to be honest. Solitude. Dang, I've been so in solitude for like the last 3 years. Oh my gosh. I've learned so much about myself, so much about the world just through like meditation. Up until like really recently, I didn't want to come out of my solitude at all. Like I had no craving for anybody outside of myself. I was completely satisfied with myself, and but I think that's unhealthy because we were meant to be with community, and we were meant to be around other people. And eventually, um, I did have that craving to come out of my shell and out of my blissful solitude, just sharing a little piece about myself. So I'm sure you guys could reflect that from a time or two. Unplug. I've really been trying to unplug in my solitude. I was just on my phone listening to so many podcasts, so many different spiritual things, so many other people reading oracle decks and tarot cards, and I was watching a lot of bad and negative stuff that would pop up on my algorithm, a lot of fear-based stuff that's really real in the world, and I just had to get away from it. I had to unplug, and I had to come back into my body. A year off from working out and just kind of laying around. I really just laid around in my van. I worked. My work didn't really give me a whole lot of exercise. And I wasn't creating natural serotonin, dopamine, and neuroepinephrine and all these positive feel-good anti-aging chemicals in the body. I wasn't doing it because I wasn't detoxing my lymphatic system through movement. And yeah, so really been unplugging from social media. And after unplugging from social media, I'm just doing social media, and I'm expressing now everything that I learned that I think has true value. And social media is a great thing. Without it, I wouldn't have been able to learn and grow as a human. I've learned so much stuff from people all over the world. But sometimes I was just mindlessly scrolling for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. That's a succubus. Oh, my ex was a succubus. She had some succubus tendencies, but I guess we all do. Yeah. I mean, at times she was a succubus, and at other times she was a true energy generator for me. I think every relationship is a bit like that, and the key is to move from succubus vampirism and needing your partner to each building and creating energy, and then you're both just feeding off that building and creation of energy instead of sucking off of each other's energy. Yeah. But I mean, we all have our shadow side. We're not always perfect all the time. Sensuality. So I've been working on getting back in touch with my sensuality. I've been practicing my hip dances. If you guys want to go check it out, I did do an hour. Highly recommend every man on earth over the age of 18 start with just a basketball. Try to do 10 minutes a day of hip movements. And it's really, really good for your spine and your synovial fluid. My spine and my back from my injury and laying down and falling back and being hunched over on my phone just really messed up my spine. And so I'm really getting back into finding my sensual dance. I think it's really important for all adults who become 18 that they find a way to be mentored on how to become sensual with themselves and to embody their own sensual dance, because I don't know who all knows this, but when I was in Portland, Oregon, and my van broke down, and I pleaded with them not to tow it away because I didn't want to be homeless on the streets with a bunch of drug addicts. But they ended up towing it anyway, and I was homeless. I became a stripper out of survival, and I learned my sensual dance, and I learned to embody my naked body as just natural. And while I was doing that, I started having flashbacks as a child and questioning everything in the reality. And I was hypersexualized there, of course, until, of course, I was invited by some really sweet people that weren't overdoing it, to a naturalist beach, which I ended up going. And they didn't have any expectations of me. They just wanted to hang out. They just wanted to hear about it. They actually wanted to know what it was like being a stripper. They wanted to interview me. They wanted to do a podcast. And they were part of a naturalist community, and they thought that it was interesting that the only people that get naked for around other people in the matrix or in society or whatever you want to call it are strippers. And I learned all about how naturalism is natural, and we were all that way for up to about 2, until the society put onto us the thoughts of fear, resentment, envy, not understanding these things. And everybody should do some research up in Canada. It's actually called textilism. We've only 99.99% of our DNA wasn't wearing clothes. It was a long time before we even figured out how to sew animal skins to like cover up. And we only covered up when we were like running through the thicket. Like, don't get me wrong. If I'm going to be running through the thicket hunting, I don't want my penis to get shredded by the thorn bush. I don't want it to happen. I'm sure a nursing mother wouldn't want her nipples for that to happen as well, or her vagina. So we would cover up these areas, and that's why all the old art of like cavemen, they're just covering up those parts of their bodies. And there's many tribes. Liver King went to Africa. They still have that tradition where they can be naked and they're in community, and it's not weird. Linen is the best clothing for you. I've heard that like, because we have an electromagnetic biofield, that different types of clothing, some of them are toxic for us, like the petroleum-based clothing. And then some of the clothing allows our aura to actually like pass through the clothing so that we can still connect with like the auras of like trees. We can get more sun penetration. We can get more wind penetration. All the things that are necessary through the alchemy of our makeup. Yeah, dude. I like how you're following along tonight, Nature Boy. Dude, you're on the level, bro. Authenticity. Check it out, y'all. I really like that, you know. I don't know how good you guys can see these pictures. I really don't have the best lighting tonight. But it's important that we become authentic as long as it's not hurting others. I mean, as long as our authenticity is not hurting others, and that's not our intention, and our intention is to help others, then we should be authentic. We should also be authentic with ourselves, though, when other people are hurting us and we feel that we want to hurt them back. Like if someone's constantly harassing you and bullying you, you have to be authentic with how you feel, and you have to let that out. Don't act on it, but feel it and be authentic and be like, okay, this is how I feel right now, instead of trying to deny that part of yourself, because that part of yourself is just going to get stuffed into your subconscious and it's going to come out later. So you have to take time to analyze that part of yourself, and because it's telling you something. It's telling you, oh, I should get the hell away from this job, or I should get away from this person. I deserve better in my life. Like, super important. Change is the essence of eternity. Everything is always changing and always flowing. Our DNA is always changing all the time. Like, every breath we take, our DNA is always changing. Every time a new person walks in with a new aura and bioenergetic field, our chemistry in our body and our hormones are constantly changing. And so we have to understand these changes. Like, there's microcosmic, tiny changes that are happening all the time that we're not even aware of, that build up over a long period of time. And then there's macrocosmic changes that are constantly happening. And oftentimes we don't understand why, like, the vibe on Earth is going crazy. Like, everything has a ripple effect. It has an equal and opposite reaction. And so we need to learn to navigate the extreme dualities of change. If we're experiencing extreme duality and we're just hiding from it and we're not facing it, and it's growing and we're just hiding from it, that's very immature, and it's bound to spiral out of control, and then everybody's just going to be more affected by whatever that negative change is that's building and growing and manifesting. Grounding, oh my gosh. Because camping, because our ancestors used to just sleep on the earth. Like, it used to be okay to just pitch a tent and just sleep on the earth and have a campfire with your family. Like, do we really need all this stuff? Like, all the climate people are saying that it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. And people are getting evicted out of their homes, like, forcefully by the state, with officers with guns and bulletproof vests. And then they're living in their cars, and then their car breaks down, and they lost their job because they smelled. And then they're all homeless on the streets with a lot of the other people. They're homeless on the streets, and trust me, it's not fun. I've been there when my van broke down, and living simply is not such a bad thing. And I believe a big reason we're so sick is because of temperature controlled climates. So if it's hot outside, your body would sweat. If you wanted to cool down, you would walk, and then walking and heat would create sweat. When you have your clothes on and you're sweating, you don't cool off. Like, when I was in Arizona and I was sweating and I took my shirt off and the slightest breeze came, I was cool in 120-degree weather. It goes back again to our DNA. We've only been learning clothes since the slave trade. We've only been wearing clothes since the slave trade. We've only been wearing clothes since the slave trade. Isn't that romantic? Anyway, I gotta change the subject. That's a dark, deep subject. But we should get grounded. Shout out to Sadhguru for talking about the benefits of full body sunbathing. Our organs on every meridian of our body need sun. We wonder why women get such breast cancer when they're cutting off the circulation to their breasts, and their breasts never get sunlight. That is a recipe for breast cancer. The breasts kind of droop, and they have like okay, so you're holding your chest up. Like, there's exercises, and we were so much more active. So, like, women are like, oh, but if my breasts are out, they're gonna look droopy. I think I look better with this bra on. Like, I get it. I understand. Like my girlfriend wouldn't take her bra off when we were going hiking, and I'm like, why not? Don't you feel like you want the breeze? Don't you want to feel like you're free? But she was not about it. I'm just like, I couldn't imagine having my chest constantly like suffocated. Like that's my heart and lung meridians. Like that's torture. It's torture. But she did it. She did it a couple times, and I actually got her to admit that she loved it. Challenge. I'm not sure about that. I had some trauma just come up talking about that, but it was a memory that came up. I learned a lot from my last relationship. Labyrinth. Life is a labyrinth. Hey, it's all good, Bruno. Come back anytime. Yeah, man, you can view this. I'm gonna call. You can view this. I'll probably be done here in about 30 minutes. At first, when I got on, I didn't want to because I was tired, but I'm really getting into it tonight. I really set a good heart intention. I normally don't light a candle. This seasonal candles really put me into the mood. I decided to wrap up with this red, seeing myself in the red in the Santa hat and reminding myself of the spirit of Christmas, of joy and family and community and gathering. I just feel like I'm supposed to be here right now. I'm supposed to be giving this message, and I want to come back and I want to listen to it myself. But yeah, life is a labyrinth, and we just have to experience the labyrinth of life. And everybody that we cross paths with on earth has the potentiality of sharing some deep introspective wisdom with us. And if we could all learn to be a little bit more open-minded and open-hearted, our labyrinths would be a lot more enjoyable. A lot less chaos. Shapeshifter. It's important to learn to become a shapeshifter, because when navigating the labyrinth, we have to learn to try to embody other people's perspectives and be able to shape in our own energetic emotions so that we can set a comfortability for people who are not so comfortable all the time around people. So we learn to shape our emotions necessary, and be in control of our own alchemy and our own inner emotions, instead of having our emotions and our emotions and our inner thoughts shape shifted by outward forces. We need to become the alchemists of our inner shape shifting, because emotion, energy, and motion, it does shape us. It shapes us mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and all those things matter, because all of those things are physical matter. So we have to become the shape-shifting alchemist. Yeah, that's a good one. I was trying to figure out the words to say. Knowledge. It's pretty cool. We have to keep this inner child knowledge. There's a child here reading a book. I know a lot of people, when they go to school and they're sitting down for 8 years, for 12 years, desecrating their spine, locking their hips into an arthritic position. As a boy, it was traumatic for me to sit in a chair for 8 hours for 12 years. All the we always ran outside, we hunted, we fished, we foraged. And I would never feel comfortable putting, if I were to have my son in a public school. China even has everybody in the classroom stand every 30 minutes to do Tai Chi and Qigong, and to stand and to move and to do anti-aging longevity arts. And I think a lot of people lose interest in knowledge from going to schools and they lose their inner knowledge of flow state and of being curious and wanting to learn. And I think I really connect with that. And above him, he has all those different lights, like the lights of all those different souls. So we have to be curious again about our inner knowledge of that inner child. We were so open-eyed and open-hearted as children, and the world taught us to be more, well, it kind of put us in a position to be like this, Everybody works so much, and there's so many people on this earth that just get home after work and they're so exhausted. They don't even have time for their children. Like, they're so exhausted. And that's not the type of father and the type of world that I want to be in. Like, or country or state or school, municipality. I cannot honor that, because it would not honor me. It would not honor my child. Ugh, makes me sick just thinking about it. Judgment. Oftentimes we judge other people, not understanding their perspectives. And when we judge other people, do this whole deck, and I got to do some self-care. So I got to eat, do some Tai Chi. We'll do that every night. And we'll do the rest of the deck probably tomorrow night. But yeah, this phone will not charge. Sucks. All right, everybody. May your days be filled with absolute joy, bliss, eternal ecstasy, unconditional love. My phone's just going to keep doing this. I need to remember to start streaming when my phone has at least 50%. Because it uses so much battery. And I have it plugged in, and it still loses battery while it's going. So I see we got 2 people in. I'm just going to end it for the night. I eat my breakfast sandwich. I do my little hip exercise. It's so good for your spine. Everybody should do it. All right, everybody. TTYL. Wait, that's right. Yay! Oh, can't see anything. Jeez. Oh yeah, Pikachu says, "Go have an adventure, Pikachu!" Oh yeah. Okay, so may your days be filled with absolute joy, peace, bliss, eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, optimal vitality, perseverance, willpower, discernment, and abundance. Thank you guys for being a part of this. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Good night for tonight. TTYL. Hey, thanks again, Nature Boy. Thank you, Grandparents Ta. I'm getting off now.